Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ball Township Candidate Forum sponsored by the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce and the Chatham Area Public Library District. I am Larissa Hanson. I'm the president of the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce. Tonight, we are pleased to welcome candidates for the April 6th, 2021 election for Ball Township. And assisting with tonight's virtual forum is Amy Byers, Director of the Chatham Area Public Library. There are 4 seats that will be elected to the Board of Trustees, and we have 5 candidates running for those positions. The candidates running for those positions are Daniel Clark, a Republican. We have Dietrich Ostermeyer, also a Republican. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, that's great.
Okay. We have Don Nowak, also a Republican, Jared Kester, also a Republican, and Teresa Osborne running as a Democratic candidate. For the Township Supervisor, we have 2 candidates. We have Michael Blankenship, who is running as a Republican, and Miranda Ashley, who is running as a Democratic candidate. So for those who are on the call tonight, we're going to offer an opportunity for everybody to introduce themselves, and then we'll move on to a question and answer period. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce them, or 2 minutes to introduce themselves, followed with the questions, and then we're going to close with 2 minutes to make closing remarks. We've accepted questions from the community for this forum and provided them to me to ask each candidate. And then just to reiterate that candidates whose answers exceed the 2 minutes will be put on mute. So let's get started. We'll get started with Mr. Blankenship, if you wouldn't mind giving us a brief introduction.
All right, I will. I'm Michael Blankenship. They refer to me as Mike. I have lived in Ball Township about 42 years, raised 4 sons that all went to our school district, and I've been involved in township government over 25 years. I was a clerk for 7 years, and I've been the township supervisor for 19. I don't know how personal you want to get, but we'll get as personal as you want to. My late wife worked at Chatham Elementary for 20 years, and she passed away 8 years. So I decided after she passed away that I probably needed to do something I wanted to, and I got a call from Ball Chatham Transportation. I knew a lady over there, and she said, "Boy, we'd sure like to have you drive a bus." I said, "No way in the world do I want to drive a bus." Well, 5 years later, almost 6 years, I'm driving a bus. So I'm very involved with the area. I enjoy being around people, and I like to fix broken things or fix things that need to be fixed.
Thank you. The other candidate for Township Supervisor is Miranda Ashley.
I moved to Chatham in 2016, and we moved here for the school district. We have 3 kids. Maddie is 11. Asher will be 8 in May, and then we have Isabella, who's now 6 months old. So we are very interested in the school district, and especially the forum you're about to hold on the board members. I decided to run for this position because I always think that it's good to try and give back to the community, and being involved in any way that I can and where I think I can do some good. So this particular position interested me because I'm in Ball Township, and I think that there's some things that can be done. Outside of why I'm running, pre-COVID, I coached my son's soccer team every year, and most of my time is either spent working. I've been in management for 21 years, or spending time with the kids because they outnumber us. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. All right, so we'll start off with the trustee candidates. We'll start with Daniel Clark is not with us this evening, but Dietrich Ostermeyer.
Hi there, I'm Dietrich Ostermeyer. I grew up in Ball Township. I've been here for 37 years. I graduated from Southern Illinois in 2007. I'm a veteran with the Illinois Air National Guard. Since I graduated in '07, I've been farming with our family farm. I travel Ball Township roads quite frequently. And I know quite a few of the people in the township, so I think that's probably why I would be good for this position.
Thank you. Don Nowak.
I'm Don Nowak. I've been in Pawnee or Glenarm for 15 years, born and raised south of Curran, Illinois. My wife and I moved over there. We had a farm and we could see retirement, so we sold the farm, moved to Glenarm. We're raising our granddaughter. She's 14. We've had her since 6 months, so she goes to Ball School, or did. Now she goes to Glenwood. And I've been around. I've helped the previous road commissioner. I've helped Jake, been on the roads, drove the equipment, know a lot of people, know the roads, know what some of them really need. I have one particular point I'd like to see get something done with because it's a dangerous intersection. And I know Dieter would probably know it too. But that's my biggest goal, is try to get that taken care of. I hope we can get it done. So that's basically my life.
Thank you. All right, Jared Kester is also not with us this evening, and that brings us to Teresa Osborne.
Good evening. First of all, my name is Teresa Osborne, and I am running for Ball Township Trustee. I wanted to thank the Chamber of Commerce and the Public Library District for hosting the event and inviting me to participate. My husband and I, we have lived in Ball Township for over 30 years. Some of our children and grandchildren currently reside in Ball Township. So I do have a personally vested interest in Ball Township. I have a diverse personal and professional background that I think could greatly benefit the board. And as the only woman candidate, again, I think that I bring a new perspective and a fresh voice to the board, or I could if elected. When I first considered running for this position, I went online to do a search because I honestly wondered, what is a township trustee? What is the job? And what I found is that Ball Township does not have an online presence. I did find the Township Officials of Illinois website, and it has a wealth of general information, so I highly recommend it. They also will host township websites for all the townships throughout the state of Illinois. And as I want to bring transparency, accessibility, and accountability to the board, to all our residents, and I want to enhance communications between the board and our residents, I think this would be a great first step. So if anyone shares my vision for the board, I hope you vote for Teresa Osborne for Ball Township Trustee. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the next set of questions, since they are going to all 5 candidates, I'm going to go ahead and start with an order that I introduce the trustees. We'll do the trustees first, and then we will finish with the supervisors, and then kind of mix it up so that everybody has an opportunity to go closer to the front or closer to the end. So my first question is, what would you like for citizens to know about the township and how it affects their lives? So first up is Dietrich.
I guess I'd like everybody to know that we live in a great township. When you look around the area, I think we live in one of the top 2 townships. When you look at our roads, most of them are in really good shape. Jake does a great job keeping the snow off. The reason the township's important to everybody is for that reason. Their cars and everything else traveling on the roads. that's pretty much it for me.
Okay,
I think Jake's doing a great job.
okay. Next on is Don Nowak.
Well, I go along with Dieter. We got to be proud of our roads. You don't have to go very far to get out of some really terrible roads. Jake's done a wonderful job. I think people, they get a little annoyed at times when they don't think the roads open as fast as they can be, but we do the best they can, and I'm proud of what Jake's done. We've got a good township, good equipment, good, nice building, and I hope Jake can keep going like he's doing and keep the roads in good shape like they are. It's very important to have a decent road to go down for an emergency even. So that's kind of the way I feel.
Okay, thank you. And Teresa.
I would agree about the road services. That's an important part. But that is one of the reasons why I do want us to have an online presence so that people, the citizens, can go from the comfort of their home online and find out what the services we are providing to them. Township services often go unrecognized, but they are essential to the well-being of our community. And they also include general assistance and tax assessment, which are both very important functions of the Township Board also. So that's what I would like them to know, that it is important about the roads, but Township services are important to the well-being of our community, and I want them to have that access to that information.
Thank you. Michael?
Yes. Same question.
Yes, sir.
I'm very proud of Ball Township. Like I say, I've been around here for over 25 years, and I can look back when I started as clerk and where we're at now, and there's a tremendous amount of difference. We've got a fairly new building. It's very modern. Our equipment is all good. Our roads are tremendous for what we do and as much ground as we cover. I believe the last check I had, we had 38 miles of road that we take care of, and they do a good job with that. We do have general assistance, and we do a lot of things for our people in the township that pretty much goes unnoticed. And I agree that we probably do need to toot our horn more. I'm not one that likes to praise myself and my staff, but we get it done. We got a good family type environment. All the trustees and the assessor and the collector, which unfortunately this is the last year for the collector because legislation was passed that they no longer will be needed in the township. It all goes into to Capital Township at the end of this year. And I think that that's a loss for us. Our collector has been with us over 30 years and has done a great job. Our assessor has been with us a long time. He does a good job, but everybody thinks that you can just jump into those spots. And the assessor takes a lot of training, got to have a lot of credentials to do that. And we're blessed to have the staff that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. And Miranda?
Yes, ma'am. So as far as the township goes, there is over 7,000 people that would need to get information about the township at any given time. I don't know if you guys have tried. I have tried to find information online about Ball Township, about what services we have, what's offered, and it's just not there. In 2021, especially coming off of the back end of a pandemic, I think it's very important that information is easily and readily accessible for our citizens. An online presence, a website, would allow our citizens to not have to come and ask for information, but have it easily accessible, especially when you're talking about general assistance. The township is responsible for programs like LIHEAP, which I don't, just going into it very quickly, LIHEAP is low income energy assistance. if you're in that kind of position where you need to ask for help, it's already hard. Let's not make it hard to find the information. So being able to have that online presence would be paramount in helping people. And that's what I would intend to do if I'm elected as supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you. So actually that leads into my next set of questions. So I'm going to start with Mr. Blankenship, and then we'll go in a different order for this one. But the question I have is, what is the biggest challenge, in your opinion, facing the township right now, coming out of the pandemic and in the situation that we have both with local governments and all of that? So Mr. Blankenship.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things at this time is fiscal spending, being fiscally responsible. We have done well with it. Most people don't realize that if you have one bridge that goes out, if the state and the county don't get involved, that could take a huge amount of money to do that. We have some bridges in Ball Township, and a couple are a little questionable, and we're working with the county and the state in seeing what we can get done with that. And same way with the finances on that, we hope to have a shared endeavor with those. That's one of the big things that we are responsible for, and that we watch and we keep close tabs on all the time.
Thank you. And now Ms. Ashley.
Absolutely. So what I see as one of the biggest challenges is transparency. And I'm not saying that there's anything nefarious going on, but the lack of information, the lack of access to information about what the township's doing, where our money's being spent, and what's available to me as a citizen is concerning. So I think that that's one of the biggest challenges that we have to overcome. And it costs minimal amounts of money to put that information online so that it's easily accessible and we can be accountable for what we're doing. So yeah, sorry, that's what I think
Okay.
is the biggest challenge.
Okay. Next is Ms. Osborne. Same question.
Interesting, because I would agree with both. And that's why I am proposing we have an online presence, especially during the pandemic. It's difficult for people to get out and about, if not dangerous, let's be honest. And so to have that information online and accessible to them is very important. At the same time, I do want to be fiscally responsible, and the pandemic has impacted our economy. So we definitely need to handle our budget wisely. And I think that that's another branch of, or part of having accountability to our residents, is to present that information online so that they know how we're spending the money that we bring in. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Nowak?
I go along with a lot of that, and I do know that Jake has tried to get something started as far as getting something online and letting people know. And if you want, you can call in and ask what's going on or why is this not being done. I think it's a great idea. I mean, old fashioned, we're just now catching up a lot, I feel. And it's just a matter of time to get caught up again with the new trend.
Okay. And Mr. Ostermeyer?
I'd say I agree with everybody on the online thing, and with most of what everybody else is saying. I would say my biggest concern is with all townships, losing our control of our townships and having the county come in and for them to start taking care of our roads. I think it's really important to hang on to our local government and have our guys here that are living right here taking care of our roads rather than someone from the county doing it all. So
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Likewise, what do you think is the biggest opportunity for the township? This is the next question. What do you think is the biggest opportunity for the township in terms of collaboration with other entities like the village, the county, even the schools, the library, any of the other public entities, the fire department, in order to further support the people of Ball Township? So for this question, we're going to start with Teresa Osborne, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you. That's a very important question. And I think that intergovernmental agreements are very important. And I would like to work with all of those entities that you mentioned, the schools and village, county even. But I do agree with Mr. Ostermeyer that we do want to keep our township services local. We are the basic unit of government to our citizens, and I think we know how to best serve them. But again, that's why I think that communication is key, and having the ability to reach our citizens is important. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Nowak?
Yeah, I go along with that. I mean, we need to stick with our own township, our own people. If you got a problem, you can talk to somebody right there, get it solved, get it taken care of, and that's kind of my opinion, and thank you.
Okay. Mr. Ostermeyer?
I think that one thing that sometimes goes unnoticed is how well our township is working with other townships, especially Chatham Township and the village. When we have road work going on, spreading rock, etc., they tend to work together to get your roads done quickly. When there's more trouble in one township than another with snow removal, they help each other out. I think the road commissioners are doing a good job communicating with the schools with whether the kids can go to school or not during winter. So I think they're doing a good job.
Okay. Mr. Blankenship?
Yeah, Ball Township is the fourth largest township in Sangamon County. We do have intergovernmental agreements with Chatham. We do have intergovernmental agreements with the county, Sangamon County. We actually, I don't feel like we could do as good a job as we do without those. As Dietrich was regarding the roads, when it comes road oil and chipping time, we'll have all of Chatham's guys over here helping for 2 weeks, and when it's their turn, we go over there and help them for the 2 weeks that they need. We've been doing that for a few years, and it works out best to do it that way. And we are accessible. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people that come to our monthly meetings. We have to post everything on the door and on the windows, and it's posted when it should be, and they come to the meetings, we talk about it, and it's a good township government is one of the best types of government system going that's run by their own people. We get people from outside of our township government running it, then I think we're going to see big differences, and maybe not in our favor. But I'm very proud of the way that our people work together and the way that we get things accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. And Miss Ashley?
Thank you. Collaboration with other governmental entities is very important, but for Ball Township, the opportunity I see, and I keep hating to go back to the same topic, but we don't have a presence. Mr. Blankenship just mentioned that it's hard to get people to come to the meetings and that they have to post things on the windows. I think that working with like the library, for example, and the chamber, and those different areas to help promote our meetings and what we're doing, and helping us if we need help with online presence and things like that, working together so that we can get information out, be as transparent as possible, just get everything out there that we can. That is a great opportunity for us, and I would love to have the chance to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, these last two questions are specific, or the last question, sorry, is specifically for the supervisors. So what do you think, what impact do you see the supervisor having specifically on the image of Chatham and also the citizens of Chatham and their perception of the image of Chatham? And it's not just, obviously, the Ball Township goes outside of the area of Chatham, so we could say Chatham and Glenarm and all the other areas that it encompasses. But so the question again is, what impact do you think the supervisor has both on the image of the area and on the people of the area? And we will start with Miss Ashley.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You know, I think the supervisor can have an impact, but to be frank, until I started researching Ball Township, forgive me, Mr. Blankenship, I didn't know you were the supervisor, because we don't have that information readily available. It's just not out there. There's a list. If you want to be involved, then we have to be able to put information out there for the younger generation. We have to be able to put information online. We have to be able to communicate. And the image does matter. And if we're not changing with the times and we're not trying to be innovative and forward thinking, then that's how people tend to not be involved. That's how people just continue with the status quo. So that's, yes, I definitely think it's very impactful. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Blankenship.
Yeah, I'm a hard guy to find. I've lived the same place for 42 years, pretty much done the same thing for about that length of time, and had kids that was active in athletics and academics, and so I've been around, and everyone that is around here has heard or seen me or say, hey, just call him. He answers his phone. All that information also is available through the county. Anybody that called down there, they would definitely give them our name and number. But there's you know, I'm not, I don't want to shut anybody out here. Ashley was talking about the young people, and that's a big thing. But the other thing is what about our folks that are 70, 80, 90 years old? They don't even own a computer sometimes. So I don't want to overkill it. I guarantee you the biggest flow of it is online. And that is probably the easiest way to reach everyone. But we're still going to miss some people. If we're online 100%, we're going to still miss some of our voters because they're not computer savvy. So I don't want to underplay it, but I don't want to overplay it either. I'm in it for everybody. Young, old, middle, doesn't matter to me. I think that it is very important, the image that is portrayed by the township supervisor. I think that, you know, you don't want to see a township supervisor in the police beat. And there's been occasions of that. There's been occasions where township supervisors end up with sticky fingers and does nothing but damage and harm all supervisors. And I think it's very important, and I conduct myself personally and professionally in a professional manner. Thank you.
All right, so thank you to everybody again for participating. We really appreciate it. Again, the goal for tonight's forum was to incorporate a variety of topics and questions, and they were all selected based on the applicability to all of the candidates without bias. We're pleased to be able to bring this forum to our community, particularly because we feel that our township citizens need to have the opportunity to be educated especially before this April 6th consolidated general election. So again, Election Day voting will be on Tuesday, April 6th from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. with early voting options now available. To find your local polling place or additional information on early mail-in voting, please visit the Sangamon County Clerk's website at sangamoncountyclerk.com. The replay of this forum will be available through the websites of the Chatham Area Public Library and the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce, along with videos dedicated to the other races that are happening within this election cycle. Thank you again for your time. Thank you to our candidates for their willingness to run for office and represent our community voice on the Ball Township Committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.